Hello everyone. Welcome to another session with new word of Dynamics CRM. Today we are going to talk about how to use service level agreement or SLA with entitlement in Dynamics CRM. SLA with entitlement can be used to solve a very specific business problem, and today we are going to learn about that. But before I go and talk about these things in detail, let's have some expectation setting. So I need some prerequisite from my audience. The first prerequisite is that you should have understanding of Dynamics CRM 2011 or above. You should know how to do navigation inside Dynamics CRM and how to do basic configuration of forms, entities, and workflow. Just basic stuff, yeah? So you understand what I'm doing over here. Second, this session is all about SLA, using SLA with entitlement. So I'm not going to show how SLAs are configured, how they are used. So you are supposed to know that before you see this session. So just in case if you have not done that, please go through some SLA documentation or go through my previous recording and learn about SLA before you come and watch this particular session. So with these two prerequisites in mind, let's move ahead. So let's first talk about what is entitlement. Again, the focus is not to talk about entitlement today. I will have a separate session for this particular thing, but today we're going to talk about how entitlement can be used with SLA and how they solve certain business problems. So in simple term, entitlement is the customer service support term. So it is a set of rules using which or following which you serve your customers. Okay, so you define certain business rules, certain terms for the support, and you serve your customers based on those terms. That is entitlement, but nothing more than that. We'll talk today about entitlement. But what we are going to show here is that how entitlement can help you select the right SLA for the customer. Okay, so entitlement can help in selecting SLA for the customer, and how you do that is our focus of the topic here. So let's see a business scenario before we go and see more details around it. Okay, so there is a Mr. Customer who calls, who has bought some product and services from some company. It calls the contact center about certain problem or services which he wants to avail. And if this customer is a premium customer, then company will like to resolve his query, his services, his problem within 3 hours. But if he's a normal customer, then the company will like to resolve his ticket within 5 hours. So it's a premium customers are given more weightage because they bring more business. So your SLA depends on your calling customer is a premium or normal customer, and we can have such more bands like this, such more rules. But I start with just two simple rules, that is a premium customer, normal customer, and who follow different SLAs. Now, how entitlement can help me select a right SLA for my customer is what we are going to see here. Okay, so before I again come to topic of configuring SLA and entitlement, one more thing we need to cover to have some ground understanding about SLA. So how SLAs are selected for a customer. Remember, if you have seen my first session about SLA, I talked about that when you configure an SLA, you have to configure an SLA, then you have to select an SLA as a default. And at that time I said I will not explain you default in that session, but with some other point of time. So today is the time when I'm going to talk about what this default means. Okay. So there are two ways you can select an SLA, a SLA for a customer or for a case. Default way or entitlement way. So default way is used when you don't want to create entitlement. So you can create only one default SLA. As you know, you can have multiple rules, but only one SLA can be configured as a default SLA. And if you have configured some SLA as a default SLA, each customer is served using that SLA only. Okay, that's the one way of doing it. Other way of doing it is that you don't define any SLA as a default SLA, but you use entitlement to select a right SLA for the customer. So you create multiple entitlements, link them to SLA, and then based on which entitlement this customer belongs to, you select that particular SLA. So there are two ways SLAs are selected. So let's see that in a simple flow. So when a customer case is created, the system first checks if there is any default SLA. And if there is any default SLA, simply go and say, this is the SLA I'm going to follow for this customer. I mean, that is what Dynamics CRM does, right? System does. But if no, then it will go and check that is there any entitlement this customer is associated with. And if there is an entitlement with which this customer is associated with, then you simply go and follow the SLA linked to that entitlement. Okay, and if this is also no, that means no SLA is selected for this particular customer. So simple. Okay, so hope you understand now that how SLAs are selected using two basic ground rules, either following the default SLA if it is configured like that, or you follow the entitlement model. Today I am going to talk about entitlement model. Okay, and default SLA is pretty simple. I mean, out of 10 SLAs, one SLA you say this is my default SLA, and every case is followed, every customer is followed based on that SLA. Okay, so let's go and look at the big picture of configuration before we go and see demo about it. Okay, so big picture of configuration is how entitlement SLA are configured. The first step you perform is you go and define SLA for both premium and normal customers. So you go and define SLA for premium customer and say, you know what, this SLA is for 3 hours, boom. And then you go and define SLA for the normal customer and say this SLA is for 5 hours, right? The simple thing we talked about in the business scenario. Once SLAs are defined, then you go and create entitlement template. That means you define some kind of service term over here, and you say this is a service term for my premium customer and this is service term for my normal customer. And if you want SLA decision to be taken through entitlement, then actually you link SLA to a particular template. So in this case, we'll go and create two entitlement template. One is premium template, other is a normal template, and in both templates we'll go and link them to premium SLA and normal SLA. That's what we'll do. Once you have done this, then your base configuration is done. Now all we need to do is that assume that some customer A joins. If some customer A joins and he's a premium customer for me, I'll simply go and create an entitlement for the customer using the premium entitlement template. And if customer B joins, who is a normal customer for me, then I will simply go and create a entitlement for this customer B using normal entitlement template. So essentially in step 3, what we are doing is that we are attaching these customers to their respective entitlements using something called entitlement. Okay, so in step 1 you define SLA. In step 2 you define template for entitlement, and where you define the rules, set of rules and everything. And then in step 3 you actually link this customer to the actual entitlement, right? And once you do this, what will happen is that when customer A calls in and he has some problem or query, then he is served using premium SLA, And if the customer B calls in, then he will be served using normal SLA. Okay, so this is what we are going to see today in our demo. So time for a demo. So I switch back to my CRM instance. So in CRM instance, let's see the step number 1, which is SLA. So I have done some configuration already. Done some configuration into my CRM instance, online instance, to save some time. So, but it's pretty obvious thing, so you should not worry. SLA thing you already know that how to configure. So I defined 2 SLA, normal and premium. Both are active, and none is default. This is very important because the moment I define one as default, no matter what entitlement, they will always go to default one. Okay, so which I don't want here. Okay, so let's go to see the normal SLA. In normal SLA, we are saying that normal SLA item, I resolve customer case in 5 hours in this case, and if I go and see the premium SLA, then premium SLA resolves customer case in 3 hours time. So far so good. I kept it very simple for now. I go to service management again. So I have seen the SLA. Now we define the entitlement template. So there's a new template added into template section called entitlement template. So I go and click on that, and then here. By the way, I just forgot for the reason. So how do you come over here on all this configuration? You go to setting, and then in setting you go to the service management, and you come to this area where we are playing with. Okay, just to let you know if you're not aware. Now I defined 2 templates here: normal template and premium template. There's so many other things configured here, but we'll see the basic things related to SLA here for now. Entitlement some other day, definitely in detail. So I simply gave a name to it, gave a start date, end date, tenure for this service term, and then I link that to an SLA. There are so many other things. I will ignore it for now. Sorry, because I told you that I will have a special session just to discuss entitlement. So. Normal template linked to normal SLA, simple, and a start date ended, which is important for me because we need to know that in what time period this particular contract or this particular term is viable for me, is liable for me, kind of thing. Then I go to the premium, and then in premium you see that premium template is linked to premium SLA. Okay, so this was our step number 2. If you look at the big picture point of view, step 1 done, step 2 done, where we have linked have created templates and linked them to their respective SLAs. Now it is time for me to go create entitlement. Now I go to entitlement over here. So entitlement I create over here. That means here I will go and link a particular customer to a particular template. So one customer can be linked to multiple templates. That means a customer can have multiple entitlements. And why it can happen? Because depending on what all different products this customer has bought from me, he can have different service agreement with me, different service terms with me. So depending on my service, depending on product and services this guy has from me, and for which kind of product service he's talking to me or he's looking service from me, I will use that particular entitlement. So a customer can be linked to more than one entitlement. Okay, but here we'll create one only. So either you can go and create a blank entitlement in which you populate everything from the beginning. Probably not a very good practice, because template is a better way, because template is reusable way of doing it. So I can go and say, okay, let's use a template, and I will simply go and select normal template first, and let's give one customer access to normal template. So to do so, from list of my customer, let's select, say, a datum. Okay, and say this is entitlement for a datum. Okay, and you can see everything else is pre-populated because I used a template over here. Okay, so I save and close it. So I linked one customer to existing template, which is your normal template. Okay, I save and close it, and I mentioned that a datum can be linked to multiple entitlement, because with a customer, he can have a business relationship where he has more than one product and services, and each product and services can have a different entitlement or service term to handle the service. So I save and close it. Okay, some error happens, so okay, hopefully it will work now. Yeah, fair enough. It's saved for me. I'll just open one more time to be sure that everything is right. Yeah, normal, and then it's back fine. Yeah, sometimes you don't trust system, right? So come back. Now I go and create another customer, say customer B scenario, where I add him to say premium templates. Okay, so let's choose another customer, and I will say this customer actually is say AdventureWorks. Okay, so ADatum went to the normal template, and then AdventureWorks will be premium customer for me. Entitlement for AdventureWorks. Okay, so I save it. I save and close this one as well. So you can see that what I have done is that I have retry, please. Something wrong with my internet connection today, but hopefully, yeah, both are back. Hopefully my demo succeeds successfully today, but let's see. So we created two entitlements over here. Now you might find it that why I have to manually create it, and I mean, even I feel painful over here, but what you can do that you can actually use some kind of workflows and plugin to automatically create this entitlement based on certain criteria. So you can have some kind of data inside your customer entity. Based on that, you can define some business rules to go and automatically create an entitlement for the customer when you create the customer using selection of the right template. So all those magical things you can do behind the scene. But for this demo purpose, and that is unfortunately there's no configuration for that right now. So you have to do it either manually or you go and automatically create that using some workflow. Now next thing is that I have to go and activate it. So activation is important for me, because unless I activate it, it will not consider it to be used, okay, or active to be used. So now my all configuration, my step one is done. I have created entitlement, linked them to proper SLA, and you can see that what SLA it's talking here. So and what other things, but other things we'll again discuss some other day. I'm getting dragged somehow, but I'm resisting it. So let's go back to the cases here. Let me create a case for Mr. ADatum. So I come over here and then select my first customer, ADatum Corporation. I give it a name, say normal customer case. Sorry, not very good title, but now here at this point of time, as soon as I selected a customer, it shows me what entitlement this particular customer is, what is the status of that, what is the remaining term, and so on. Okay, but here is something which I need to do, which I really don't like actually, which is you have to go and select the entitlement. Since the customer can have multiple entitlement, actually you have to go and select a particular entitlement to say which entitlement I'm applying to serve in this customer case. Why I don't like it? Because to be honest, ideally I would like to have some kind of configurator somewhere where based on the subject or a product or some other configuration or some rules, one entitlement should be automatically selected for me. So that will be a good to have feature. The feedback has been passed to the product team. I hope it comes sometime. But till then, either you manually select it, like what I'm going to do now, or again, write your own code. So write your own code, which can, since it is nothing but a lookup field, all you need to do is that based on certain rules on metadata or customer data, you decide that okay, this is my default entitlement for this particular case. But till then, yeah, either code way, either write your code, write your workflow, or do manually like me. So I created a case, selected it to entitlement for ADatum, and then I simply save it. And the moment I save it, what happens is that I get 5 hours SLA. So it is 6:26, and I get 11:26 SLA time, because remember the normal SLA is 5 hours SLA, right? So just to be very sure, A datum is a normal SLA, and normal SLA is 5 hours for me. So far it is selected the right SLA for me and gave me a resolution time, expected resolution time. Now if I go ahead and create a new case for AdventureWorks, and let's see what works. So I open a new case form, and you can see, and then I come here and select, okay, let's do from here, AdventureWorks. Again, the moment I select it, boom, my entitlement shows that, yeah, there's an entitlement for this particular thing. I say, okay, case for premium customer. I need to go and select entitlement for this customer over here. I do that, and then when I save it, what I do is I get 927, which is 627 to 927, which is 3 hours SLA. So remember, 3 hours for my premium customer and 5 hours for my normal customers. So that's how you can select an SLA depending on system can select an SLA depending on what entitle you have selected. Two improvements definitely which can go into product is, one is some easy way of linking customers to different entitlement. Right now you have to create a record one by one, or write some kind of automation behind, which you have to write for your implementation. Other thing which really could be a good feedback is that when I select a customer some way through some configuration, some rule engine, something, right? There are many ways you can do that. You do automatic selection of entitlement for me. That could be a second good thing to do. Otherwise, manually select it, right? So these are two feedbacks to product team, and I mean to start with, of course. And this is the example that how you can select two different SLAs for a customer, for customers, depending on what kind of entitlement they have, or what kind of SLA they have linked to them. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you very much for watching this, and as always, please provide me your feedback, and I promise that I will keep coming back with some good sessions on various topics happening, which are coming in Dynamics CRM 2013 or 2015. I have to start 2015 session very soon. I'm just waiting for things to get public so that I'm legally doing right thing. Okay, so thank you very much again for watching this, and please subscribe to this video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.